Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so here is going to be all of the news and updates that you guys need to know about Verdansk before the update officially launches in Warzone tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. At the time this video is releasing, at the time that I'm recording this video, we are now in Season 3 of Black Ops 6, meaning that right now the Warzone servers are officially 100% down, but everything is still usable in Black Ops 6. So in today's video, we're going to go over briefly the updates and news about Verdansk so that you guys are the most prepared that you guys can be before it drops in tomorrow's update, and how you guys can actually get prepared for it today in Black Ops 6. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into the patch notes. All right, so the first thing that I do really quickly want to get into is the fact that for those who don't own Black Ops 6, there's going to be a 24-hour free trial that will be active on April 2nd, aka the date of Season 3's release. That is going to give multiplayer and zombies content access along with double XP for all players, so that way you guys can go ahead and unlock actually the Kilo 141. The Kilo 141 is going to be a free reward that you guys can get just by logging into Call of Duty on April 2nd. Once you guys claim this weapon, you guys can go into Black Ops 6 multiplayer and actually level this thing up in preparation for Verdansk. So that is very cool. Here's going to be the official Season 3 patch notes for Warzone. Firstly, starting off, we're of course going to be getting the OG skins from Warzone 1 and Modern Warfare 2019 back and kind of reformed in Black Ops 6 style with the new Black Cell skins. So that's going to be Mace and Jason Hudson, of course. For console crossplay, we're going to have 3 different choices if you are on console. So this is going to kind of help out a little bit with ranked or just in general for anyone who wants to have some fun on console. So firstly, there's going to be the on option, which enables matchmaking with all gaming platforms, which is what you already just are on by default. For on consoles only, if you have a friend, let's say for example you're on PlayStation but you got a friend that is on Xbox but you don't really want to play against PC players, the on consoles only option is going to make it to where you and your friend can continue to play in console only lobbies, but no PC players will be in your lobbies. And then of course there's just off, which restricts matchmaking to anyone other than your current gaming platform at all. Of course, we're going to be getting a little bit of an update to the preloading shaders, so the shaders are going to be compiled differently, making it to where Warzone multiplayer and zombies is a little bit different just for performance. All right, now getting into all of the changes when it comes to Warzone, here is going to be the Season 3 roadmap. All right, so firstly, we're going to be getting a new event called the Return to Verdansk, which is basically going to give us right off of the rip instant event rewards, which is going to be a parachute, a gun screen, and a contrail. Of course, you can continue to log in every single day to get some different rewards. Like I said, the Kilo 141 at the time that I'm posting this video, make sure that you guys are loaded into Call of Duty, claim that Kilo 141 and get to leveling it as fast as possible, because you guys are going to want to be ahead of the game when it comes to the Verdansk meta. Of course, we're going to be getting the OG2 operators back from Warzone 1 along with the Kali sticks as a weapon. If we scroll down, we got Welcome Home back to Verdansk. They're going to have a few different things like quality of life changes, like the trees being in different spots, non-drivable vehicles being a lot more distinguishable. You can now swim on the outskirts of the map. Zip lines are going to be making a return farther in the season, as well as some ladders that are going to make old spots that weren't accessible now. And of course, lighting adjustments to make sure that whenever people are in the shadows, it's not going to be negatively affecting your vision all too much. Of course, the original Gulag showers, like I said in the roadmap, are officially back, and the Gulag overtime capture the flag is going to be making a short return. And then just in case that you guys want to know, here's going to be the weekly playlist, just in case you guys want to have a few things kind of planned throughout the launch of Verdansk. So from April 3rd to April 10th, we're going to have Battle Royale, solos, duos, trios, and quads at Verdansk. Of course, Plunder making a return, Boot Camp, Warzone, and Battle Royale casual, and of course, Resurgence quads on Rebirth Island. Of course, we're going to be getting 150 player count back on Verdansk. So for quads, it's going to be 152 players. So we're going from 120 on Urzikstan to 150 again. Freefall shooting is of course also going to be making a return. So all those clips that we all know and love of shooting people out of the sky with our pistols is going to be making a comeback. But another interesting thing that I do really want to highlight is right here. It does say players can shoot while free falling using their secondary weapon. And if no secondary weapon is equipped, they will default to their backup pistol. So it's really got me thinking as like, what if I got a C9 equipped to my secondary? Will I be able to skydive and shoot my C9 at the same time? Who knows? We're just gonna have to wait and see. Of course, another big quality of life update is going to be the 360-degree revive rotation. So if you're ever rezzing a teammate now, instead of being in a stationary position where you can only see what's in front of you, you can now do a whole 360-degree rotation to see if there's any enemies behind you, or just get some more information about what's going on around you while still rezzing your teammates. So that's a great quality of life update there. Of course, we're going to be getting a little bit of details on the end game circle pacing. Now, me personally, I don't really mind too much information about the end zone. It is one of those things where it's kind of what I'm going to learn as I play the game. Looking at these stats isn't really going to help me all too much, so I'm just going to leave it right here for you guys to take a screenshot or pause the video so that you guys can take a deeper look at it. But for me, I'm just going to kind of go past it and let it be what it is when the game launches. Ascenders, of course, are going to be coming back to Verdansk, aka zip lines, on the mid-season update. But of course, internal ascenders are going to be within elevator shafts, remaining operational at the beginning of the season. As for the loot, as you guys can see, the floating loot is going to be returning this season in Verdansk, making it kind of easier to remove all of that clutter and picking up guns on accident that started ever since the ground loot looked look just horrible in Modern Warfare 2. So this is kind of something that I'm really looking forward to. It's a small quality of life change, but it's going to go a long way. As for the buy station, we're returning back to the OG classic top to bottom buy station HUD, which also looks like it means we're going to be going back to buying no weapons at the buy station. We're going to be having to get loadouts if we want our loadout weapons, which I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that just yet, especially considering the fact that if you're squatted up with your friends, the amount for the loadout is going to go up. If they decided to put the OG loadout price at 7,500 again, I would be all for it, because 7,500 really isn't too much to collect amongst you and your squad. But with that being said, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see when the game officially launches. Let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on it, especially the $7,500 loadout. Do you think that it's broken? You think that it's OP? You just let me know what you think. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the OG loadouts were 10,000 and they went down to 7,500. I'm not 100% sure though. And as I'm actually talking about it, if we look at the inventory pricing right here, it looks like the loadout markers in duos, trios, and quads is going to be 10,000. So it looks like it is going to be actually worth it for them to remove the guns off of the buy station, because now all you got to do is just, you know, get 10,000. If you're in solos, it's just 6,000. So it's even less. So I'm actually all for this, but I'm not going to go too in depth with everything else. All that's really important for a lot of people is the loadout markers and the UAV price. So if you guys want to take a screenshot, send this to your squad mates, or pause the video, you're more than welcome to. Now, a new quality of life thing that they're also going to be adding to the buy station is the redeploy all button. So instead of having to spam all of your teammates' names to bring them all back, you could just hit the redeploy all button and it will bring back all of your squad mates, which is going to make for some really cool plays that you wouldn't be able to make before. Some nice 0.5 millisecond clutches where you'll be able to redeploy your whole team. A guy's going to shoot you and down you at the buy, but because you got 3 of your teammates dropping down on him, it's going to be too much for him to handle, especially considering the fact that as the circles go on, you're going to be dropping closer and closer to the ground. So I'm really excited for that. For the movement, this is going to be a big change, so I am going to go a little bit more in depth with this. With the introduction of Black Ops 6's Omni movement system revolutionized gameplay, it's become the foundation of players' movement in Call of Duty Warzone. While the system launched on multiplayer inspired values, we recognize the need for adjustments to better align movement dynamics with the unique demands of Call of Duty Warzone's limited life modes. So Season 3 focuses on fine-tuning the Black Ops 6 player movement by ensuring a balance between fluidity and responsiveness, so these adjustments have been made. Movement speed. Crouching movement speed was reduced by 10%. Crouch to standing speed is increased by 15%. Crouch to stand speed while ADS is also increased by 39%. Prone movement speed is reduced by 5%. Sprinting movement speed is reduced by 4.9%. And directional sprint animation blend speeds are increased for improved fluidity. The jump cooldown was reduced by 40%, so improved responsiveness for during repeated jumps, which also is kind of a little bit of a hint that we may or may not be getting a buff to bunny hopping, so I'm super happy to see that. Omni sprint slide and back speed scaling was reduced by 8.5 to better balance strafing movement speed when going left and right and backwards, which is cool. And then slide friction was increased by 4% to reduce overly slippery engagements. These adjustments address the dominant power of strafing engagements while maintaining fluidity for mechanics such as sprinting, strafe, reloading, and general navigation. Responsiveness across movement systems have been improved to ensure a smoother gameplay while striking a better balance for Call of Duty Warzone's fast-paced encounters. This will bring back the feeling of classic Warzone experience that we all know and love. So personally, a lot of people really have been talking about this movement buff and nerf that they've been kind of doing. Some people really hate it, some people really love it. Me personally, I'm kind of in that middle ground where it's like, look, I do love having a skill gap. I do love having some pretty cool movement mechanics that you can do on a day-to-day basis and new things that you can always learn. However, I do feel like there are some times where SMG engagements are what they would call overly slippery engagements. So basically, there are certain times where someone will slide past me and I'll slide past them, and it feels like we're both just kind of gliding around each other with SMGs. So as much as I am a little bit nervous for these movement changes, if they do it right, I really do feel like this is going to be something that could help out a lot, because there are certain moments where I feel like we're just gliding across each other. But let me know what you guys, of course, think down in the comment section down below. You guys like the quote-unquote over slippery engagements, or do you guys think that this is going to be a better approach for a more tactical game like Warzone? Of course, all of the OG contracts are coming back, like recon, supply run, and so forth. The thermite is, of course, going to be making a return, so I don't think we're going to be getting riot shields, but just in case, you're definitely going to need thermites, and it's going to be something kind of nice to destroy vehicles as well. They're going to be bringing back the armor satchel, so the maximum capacity was reduced for plates from 6 to 5 to provide a classic experience, and the armor satchel is going to be giving you 8 plates just like it used to back then. Another nice little quality of life update that they did is now don't lie about what you got in your inventory, because your teammates are going to be able to see it on your name. So if you look over to the bottom left and look at your HUD, you're going to be able to see how many plates your teammate has, what field upgrade they have, if they have a, you know, UAV precision or anything of that sort, and so forth. The heartbeat sensor is going to be getting a little bit of a buff. They can't take it back 100% to what it used to be, where it was infinite battery, but they did buff it from 60 60 seconds to 120, so from 1 minute to 2 minutes, which isn't too bad. Really would have loved to see the heartbeat monitor become a little bit more useful again like it was before, but we'll take some small wins. Now onto the kill streaks that are getting disabled. We're getting rid of the bunker buster, care package, counter UAV, foresight, napalm strike, SAM turret, and sentry turret. Thank God for getting rid of the bunker buster. I don't know if I would have liked Verdansk with the bunker buster, especially considering the fact that it's just buildings on buildings on buildings. And this is kind of one of the more controversial changes, so I really want to know what you guys feel about this, because I personally don't like it all too much. The precision airstrike indicator, the thing on the top left of your mini map that shows you the path in which an airstrike is going to be going through, they're removing that to return back to how it worked in 2020, where the purpose of it was to surprise your enemies. Now, although I do kind of feel like the whole purpose of this is to go backwards and get that feeling that 2020 had, I don't like it in the sense that there's going to be certain plays that could not be made without seeing that indicator. There are some cases where it's a very, very intense end zone and you have the height and you have the advantage, and a team calls a precision airstrike on you, and because you could see the direct path of which the airstrike is, you may be able to stay on the building by just the tippity ledge, or you may be able to make a storm play where you're out of that precision airstrike for just the 2 seconds that it's going off for, and then you could just go right back in off of that storm play. So I personally don't know how to feel about it. I feel like it's going to kind of limit a lot of advantages that you get by playing height, or just in general, you know, going to cause a lot of problems within clarity of certain fights. But of course, some people are going to like it, some people aren't. So let me know what you guys think. Of course, for the weapons, we are going to be getting an OG return of the old legacy weapons from Modern Warfare 2019. So of course, first, again, the Kilo 141 is going to be automatically rewarded by a Warzone login. So make sure you guys go in. I'm going to say it a third time this video. Make sure you guys log into Call of Duty Warzone today, right now, at the time that this video is live, and start to get that Kilo 141 leveled up, because you're definitely going to need it when Verdansk drops. We're going to be going over some of the weapon buffs and nerfs that happened this update, so you guys can see how important that this is going to be. Of course, fully automatic assault rifle with an ergonomic design that improves handling and a steady fire rate to help you stay on target. AMAX is going to be coming back on page 6 of the battle pass. HDR is going to be coming back on page 3. So the order that's going to go in is you're going to get the Kilo right off of the bat. Page 3, you're going to get the HDR. I believe that page 5, you're going to be getting the conversion kit for the Grau on the SWAT 556, and then the AMAX is going to be the last gun that you could get. And of course, the Cali sticks are a 4-hit kill in Warzone, 2-hit kill in multiplayer, and you're going to be getting that through the event rewards for the return to Verdansk. You can see it right here as well. SWAT 556 Grau conversion kit, page 5 of the battle pass, which turns it into the OG Grau that we all know and love with the traditional iron sight for the Archangel barrel. For a new attachment, we're going to be getting the monolithic suppressor back, which is fantastic in my opinion, because I personally feel like Black Ops 6 has way too many attachments that don't focus too much on recoil control and damage range. So I want to welcome another attachment in that's going to help us do that by giving us a little bit of a hit in our, you know, movement speed and ADS speed and all that, but it will give us that OG damage range and bullet velocity and recoil control that the OG monolithic suppressor did give us. Now we're just going to really quickly do a quick look at the assault rifles and submachine guns meta. We're not going to go too much into all of the buffs and nerfs, because then we're going to be here all day, and I still got a 43 kill gameplay to present you guys after this for everyone who does like still watching high kill gameplays. But just to kind of give a quick little oversight, the AK-74 caught a overall buff nerf. You could see a good mix where the damage was increased but the range was decreased all across the board. Aims caught a little bit of a buff, but a majority a nerf across all damage ranges. AS-Val, same thing, the damage was increased but a nerf across all damage ranges as well. Cypher 091 took a big hit to its lower extremity damage, so it looks like it's not going to be too viable unless you're hitting upper torso to headshot. So it could stay in the meta, or like I said, the Kilo 141 AMAX and HDR could be taking over in the meta. One thing to note is that the HDR is going to be a one-hit kill across every single range, so that's definitely going to shift up the meta a lot for people who are accurate with their snipes. GPR caught an overall nerf to the lower extremities as well, but it also reduced the visual recoil, which it already barely had any of that, so it's really going to be super useful to use for those people who want a no recoil gun. Crixie got an overall buff to its multipliers. Model L also got a buff nerf to the lower extremities, buff to the higher extremities. XM4 got a bunch of changes with the headshot multiplier increased, lower torso decreased, the bullet velocity decreased, the 100 round mag was decreased to 80, and then the 3-round burst was buffed, and of course the Goblin just caught an ADS speed buff. Moving on to the SMGs, surprisingly the C9 caught a little bit of a buff, getting a headshot multiplier buff, but then a lower torso and extremity nerf. So that's kind of a fair playoff, where if you hit a lot of headshots, it's going to be torching people, but you can't be aiming for the lower torso and be expecting it to be the best SMG probably anymore. Jackal PDW overall caught a really good buff, so we may be seeing people use the Jackal more and bring it back into the rotation of possible SMG metas in the new update. Compact also caught a really good buff, so it looks like a lot of SMGs are winning this update. KSV caught an overall nerf. They were probably seeing a little bit too much usage of it over the past few weeks, so it did have to be nerfed a little bit to its damage range. Same thing with the PP919, same thing with the PPSH. But the gun that really has my eye this season may be the SOG. There is no negatives when it comes to the buffs that were given this update. I mean, it's getting a damage buff by 4, a range buff by 0.6, and every single category the SOG is winning. So we may be seeing an OG Mac 10 meta return. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but we're gonna have to keep an eye out for that. And then just of course the headshot multiplier was increased, the lower torso multiplier was increased, and the arm multipliers were decreased for the Tonto. Binary trigger caught a little bit of a buff as well. Of course, we're gonna be getting the classic vehicles back in Verdansk with the heli, the cargo truck aka Big Bertha, Horus, LTV, and ATV, with these having a little bit of better handling than the OG vehicles did have. Of course, they also are going to have to bring back some vehicle vulnerability, so the OG C4 meta does look to be making a slight return. I don't know if the throwing range is going to be quite the same as it used to be, but it is going to be a 1 hit across the board for every single vehicle except for the Bertha. You're going to need to hit it with 2 hits, just like the OG days of Warzone. Moving on to the small but really cool things that they are doing, the OG Warzone victory screen is going to be making a return, so you're going to really be able to get that nostalgic feeling in when you win your first game with your buddies, along with a little bit of things from the OG minimap, like how the contract looks and minimap pings and things of that sort. Of course, for content creators and people who just overall care about weapon inspections and small cool things, you are going to be able to inspect specific attachments when you inspect your gun, so that's going to be very useful for things like thumbnails, designing, you know, things of that sort. Another thing too, just to give some clarity, because a lot of the times people will accuse people of cheating, they are having in the kill cams a detailed death recap. So if you're ever at a point where you're like, how did that guy know I was there, you're gonna see in the kill cam what you were affected by. So you may have been affected by a UAV, a live ping, unsuppressed weapons, and at that point, I mean, someone's just got to think that you're on the minimap so much it made it pretty obvious where you were. Maybe it'll make it for less false reports in the future, so we'll just have to wait and see about that. And the one thing that I did really quickly want to touch on, which is going to be a small change but a really big difference for a lot of people, including myself, that played OG Verdansk back in 2020, the audio. We're going to be getting the OG cinematic infill, gulag, and exfil audio. The music from back then is going to be coming back as well. The announcer re-recorded by the original announcer Julian Stone from Verdansk in 2020, and OG hit marker sounds are going to be also making a return in Verdansk, along with armor and armor break sound effects. Death store sound effects, footstep recordings, loot chests, buy stations, contracts, and UI sounds are all going to be the exact same. So this is literally the closest that we can get to OG Verdansk. They are not skipping a single beat when it comes to this. And then overall, we just got a bunch of bug fixes that I'm not going to go into because there's just a ton of them. But if you guys do want to go into all of the details for yourselves, take a look of anything that I didn't cover in today's video, you guys can go ahead and go to Call of Duty's official website and go to the Warzone Season 3 patch notes. With that being said, that is the overview of everything that you guys need to know about Verdansk, which is going to be coming out tomorrow at, remember, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you're prepped, make sure you got your download pre-ready. It should be up for PC and console right now for everything that supports it, so make sure that you guys check that, so that way you guys are more than prepared for the update. But let me know what you guys think about all the recent news and updates that we've been getting on Verdansk. Do you think that this is the point where Call of Duty does a full 180 turn and makes a comeback, or do you think that it's going to take a lot more than just a few reused weapons and assets to bring the game back to its golden era? If you guys did go on to enjoy this video though, I got one more thing, a 43 kill dub for you guys on Rebirth Island before we go into Verdansk. Let me know if you guys want me to continue posting Rebirth content or Verdansk primarily more, and I will definitely be listening to that feedback. But make sure you guys drop a sub, like the video, stay tuned, follow the Twitch so that way you guys don't miss the stream when I do go live on day 1 of Verdansk. I'm going to be going live and making a video the moment that it comes out, so you guys are not going to want to miss it, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Later.
Enemy destroyed. Use your tac map to hunt down the rest of them. We've got 10 squads active in the field. Target down. Marking the rest of them.
Hello. Interesting.
remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down.
And they said people who get.
What you say, brother? Me, Tony?
Like, shit wasn't working.
Nah, that shit working. Shit working too.
Enemies are dropping into the area.
I got you.
Your mouse.
Confirmed. We've located the rest of them.
Oh shit! I'm fucking scared.
Friendly
Well,
loadout
now
drops
we
on
see
the
can
way.
do something. All right.
Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting. Enemy destroyed.
Damn.
Use your tac map to hunt down the rest of them. Marked remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down.
Oh, I got you. Still. You just got it.
Enemy soldier incoming. Marked remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down. Clearing other targets during contract timeline. All bounty targets are KIA.
No
Well
mataron
done.
ninguno, le digo.
Precision airstrike standing by.
UAV available for tasking.
Copy that. Longbow
No sé por qué, pero
3-1. Strike inbound. Enemy dropping
tengo muy
into the
mala
area.
racha con ustedes.
Destroyed. Use your tac map to hunt
Me.
down the rest of them. Flash, good kill. Fire sale active. Buy station prices have been reduced.
Oh.
Target down. Marking the rest of them. Enemy destroyed.
Fuck you,
Use your tac
asshole.
map to hunt down the rest of them. Get ready. Resurgence window is about to close.
Thanks for the work. UAV overflight terminated.
Enemy UAV overhead. Target down. Marking the rest of them. Enemy UAV online. Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting.
What if I snuck up in your bedroom, touch you while you sleep?
Fire sales Mark the
Tío,
remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down. We've located the rest of them.
The 45 long
Good
slide
kill.
with laser
Marking
sighting.
the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting. Enemy soldier incoming.
Get out.
Marked remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down. Resurgence has been deactivated. This is the end game. Supply crates are restocked. Advise you to load up now. Contract's worth more than usual, so get it done, soldier. 5 squads still operational in the AO.
I'll be back.
Losing ground, move it.
Oh, y'all gotta buy me back.
I'll be back.
Only 10 left.
Asshole.
I mean,
You've got time for another bounty. Get it done. Enemy UAV overhead. All bounty targets destroyed. Hell of a job. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Fuck you, asshole. I'll be
Be
back.
advised, an enemy squad is tracking your location. Gas is
who's
closing
calling
in.
bro's line?
I'll be back. The 45 long slide with laser sighting.
You've made it to the top 5. 3 squads left in the war zone. Stay alert. Primary objective complete. All targets eliminated.
Bro, we don't let me fucking do it.
GG's baby, 42 kills in the dub. Verdansk tomorrow. Y'all better be hyped up, bro. Verdansk tomorrow.